So last night, for the first time, I've been watching through the film Godzilla vs. Kong. That's right, the old school 1960s film. And it's been funny as hell so far. I'm really enjoying it. In fact, I'm going to finish it when I'm done making this video. But what struck me in this film thus far is the fact that a scientist pointed out the reality that Kong's brain is much larger than Godzilla's. He even used objects to show the scale on this comparison. It was a little berry that he used to portray Godzilla's brain, claiming how Godzilla isn't very smart at all. And then he had the skull of an ape, noting how the brain of such is several times larger than Godzilla's. This, of course, was going on when they were discussing whether or not Kong would be able to be used as a detriment to Godzilla, because Godzilla was on the attack. He was headed right toward Japan, and Kong was just recently discovered on his island, and the tribals allowed for him to be released and utilized by the military. Of course, where I left off, the tides turned. The governments made note that Kong is not to go to Japan in order to face Godzilla, because Kong will cause just as much destruction as the king of the monsters. But I think there's going to be another turn taking place here very soon. But it's interesting, because although Godzilla in the 2014 Monsterverse film has an extremely durable carapace, atomic breath capabilities, as well as regenerative features, he hasn't yet proven to us that he's very smart. He was very primal, however, and relatively tactical in his fighting. But how much of all this is he actually thinking through? Kong, on the other hand, in Skull Island, was portrayed as an emotional intellectual. He was driven by fear and anger, and his perception on what can harm him adapted extremely fast. These sort of traits, I think, will work in his favor when he fights Godzilla in the upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong 2020 film. And although it seems to me that if contained, Godzilla would easily win this battle, depending on the circumstance and the environment, things might be different. I think Kong is certainly going to use the environment around him to his advantage, similar to how in Skull Island he used a tree to slap the shit out of the skull crawlers, as well as a propeller from an old boat to swing around like a flail, striking the king of the skull crawlers. I think he's really going to think this one through. He's probably going to pick up on the fact that Godzilla has atomic breath, and he's going to improvise his way in order to seek a greater tactical advantage, and certainly avoid the atomic breath at all costs. But I'm getting a little concerned for Godzilla. Is he really just some big dumb lizard? Powerful, however, but dumb nonetheless. Or is he something more? It's uncertain as to how similar he is to the old school Godzilla portrayed in the Toho film Godzilla vs. Kong from back in the day. But if he's anything like that Godzilla, it would indicate that his brain is very small. But what do you guys think? How smart is Godzilla compared to Kong? And might his mental capacities lose him the battle? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you want to support my channel, you can join me on Patreon. I'd really appreciate it. You can find it linked in the description below. I am the Iceman. More videos to come.